welcome to Tea Time with Pizza. Guys, I am so excited to finally be back. As some of you have already known, I've been on isolation for 3 weeks, and I did let you guys know that I wasn't able to post a new video until after the 3 weeks. And well, thanks to your prayer and all your love and support, I am all well now and out. So finally, we can do tea time again. And today, the most exciting thing in the room is that we've got Neo from Modern Melbourne Man.
That's it.
I'm sorry for mixing that up.
Okay.
Some of you may already know him, but I am so excited to have this chat with him today because I've admired Neo's perspectives on his Instagram live videos that I've been following and even had the pleasure of being a part of. So yeah, we're just gonna go in straight away today to our chat. We will be chatting about men. So I've been really interested to know lately a few things about men and about relationships. So there was a day where when I messaged Neo and I said, how can a woman be supportive to her man and show her man that she loves him and support him? And Neo said, why don't we leave that for tea time? And then I thought, well, why not? And so I really wanted to come today and do this discussion with him because his perspective are always interesting, like I said. And plus, I want to learn, and I feel like there are so many women out there who just want an insight into a mind of a man or into men's mind. And also, growing up, I have been hearing this whole men want respect as women want love. Like we've grown up hearing how women says, I want love, and I've been hearing men say, we want respect. And so today I wanted to come and have this discussion with Neo because I personally want to know what respect means in the man's perspective, because I feel like some of us still don't get it as women. And so welcome to Tea Time. I feel like I've just been blabbing, talking.
Yeah.
But do you have anything you want to say before we start tea time?
I know we can get straight into it. But thank you very much for having me. As you already said, the name is Neo, aka Modern Melbourne Man. You know, very happy to get started.
Modern.
Very happy. That's right, modern. That's right. Yeah. Yeah. No, I'm happy to get straight into it.
That's good. So guys, I just have a couple of questions for Neo that we'll just go through and just discuss them, and then yeah, let's get started. So the first question is, Neo, what are some things women should know about men in general? Just before we get into the actual respect and some of the questions that I have, do you have some general tips or general things that you would like women to know about men? Because I feel like we do have a lot of, I would say, myth and truths about men that women feel they already know, but then we don't really know for a fact whether, you know. So what are some things that you would, some insight into men that you feel women should know?
Right. I think one of the most interesting things, or one of the most important things, is to always remember that a relationship consists of two people. Right, and unfortunately, for some women, they don't take the man's feelings into consideration. They forget that aspect of it, right? So they're more than happy to, you know, ask for gifts and all those types of things, but they don't think about this idea that there is something that the man wants as well, you know.
Yes.
So for something very simple like a birthday gift, there's a lot of people that are just accustomed to always buying their man socks and ties. Socks and ties for years. Socks and ties. That's it. Socks and ties, or lingerie. That's it. Like you go socks, ties, lingerie.
And the thing about lingerie is it's not actually really for the man because the woman is the one wearing it.
Exactly.
But I guess because we're wearing it so that we can
exactly. Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah.
But you know, women have to be a little bit more creative with. They need to understand what is it that the man wants. And the thing is, as men, we actually do want to communicate with our women. We want to communicate with our partners. But a woman has to be able to provide that space so that the man feels comfortable enough to speak right? Because what a lot of women don't understand is that they actually shut down their partner's ideas and perspectives, right, without even noticing it, right? So a man might actually come to his partner and, explain something that is troubling him, right? And she won't even realize that she shoots him down, right? Now, as men, we're very wary. We don't want to make things uncomfortable. So if we realize that if we bring issues to you, you're not really receptive, the chances are moving forward, we're not going to bring those issues as well, right? Now that causes a problem because the issue is going to grow, the problems will continue growing, and the man doesn't feel comfortable actually coming to you, right? Not only that, but when he's really frustrated or he has a bad day at work, you're not the first person he's going to want to speak to because you've made it very clear that you're not understanding. You don't see him as a human being. You don't consider his feelings. You don't look at him as someone that actually wants something, someone that actually wants to be happy as well.
Yeah.
It's a very unfortunate thing. So for men, what they tend to do is they'll just speak to their friends instead, right? Which, it might work in the long run, but, it really affects the relationship because the dynamics in the house start to change.
So acknowledging that there are two people in the relationships, the other one also have needs, just as much as you, the woman, have needs. And then second is that men also do like communication. And it's not just, because we do have this generalized idea that women are the one who are talkative and that we talk too much and we're emotional and we're very expressive of our feelings, and that men really don't talk a lot. But to hear you say that just kind of shine a light.
Yeah, no. We talk a lot. And the thing is, there are some difficult things that have to be discussed in a relationship. And as men, we like to hear from our partners, how is it that we bring these issues to the forefront? Say, for example, a guy feels that, his wife or his girlfriend has put on weight, right? And he doesn't feel attracted to her anymore, right? The question is, how does he tell her that in such a way where he doesn't hurt her feelings? Because this conversation has to happen. Because if it doesn't happen, right, she's going to notice as time goes on that, he doesn't look interested in being intimate with me.
Yeah.
Right? And yet at the same time, he's not saying what is wrong. And so this man is not saying what is wrong because to him, he feels that he can't bring this issue because anytime he's brought an issue, it's been shut down. It hasn't been taken into account, hasn't been considered. So he doesn't feel respected within the relationship as well. So you can just thinking outside the box, you can already see where this is going to go, where, he's no longer attracted to his partner, right? He wants to get intimate and he can't even bring that issue up. And so he's a human being. He still wants to get intimate. You can kind of see where this is going.
That's a very sensitive conversation to have too.
Yeah, it definitely is. So that's a question. Is like, I think that, wives and girlfriends have to speak to their partners and tell them, hey, you can bring anything to me. Say, regardless of what it is. Regardless of what it is. For example, if I, as a man, want to tell my partner that, on a particular day that, there's a bit of body odor, how do you say it in such a way that you don't hurt her? Is there a way?
Get on your perfumes.
Yeah, but here's the thing, though. But some women actually take.
Instead, I would love to smell this on you.
Yeah,
babe.
but then, okay, let's say that is. But let's say that you're traveling. Let's say you're at the mall, right? And then you notice that. How do you say it in such a way that she doesn't take offense? You see, some men feel like they can't say that.
Yeah, but I don't know if you can say that though at the mall.
But then do you want your partner to be embarrassed? Because here's the thing, you're walking around the mall and you don't know
sensitive.
That
That's a very sensitive.
But that's the thing. So if you're walking around the mall, right, and you have a bad odor, but you can't tell, and your partner wants to tell you.
But even if you tell, what is there to do? Go in the bathroom and freshen up?
Regardless of what it is, as men, we want to know, how do we have these difficult conversations? Okay. Really, that's what I'm saying. How do we have a difficult conversation? Because if it was a friend of mine, a male friend, it's easy for him to tell me. It's easy for him to tell me, bro, like your tummy's getting big. You need to hit the gym, like or whatever the case.
Okay, so things women should know about men. So you're saying you men like to communicate just as much as women like to communicate. You like correcting just as women like saying, babe, I think this jacket looks better on you. You also like to say, I don't think you smell very great. Can we improve in this area?
Yeah, sort of like that. Yeah, but basically what I'm saying
so it all comes down to
provide a space where we can have difficult conversations.
Where you can have difficult conversation without them being triggered or taking it as an insult.
Exactly.
Okay, that's noted.
Yeah.
So we'll jump to the second one. So specifically, what does respect mean to men, and how can women show respect, support, and love to their men? Like, what are some things that women can do day to day to show their men that, babe, I've got your back. I'm here for you. Like, I love you. For a man to feel loved, respected, and supported, what are some things that you would encourage women to focus on?
That's a very interesting question, right? Because if you phrase it the other way and you were to ask a woman, how do you want your man to show his appreciation and love for you? Women will say things like, buy me flowers, do nice things for me here and there. And really the answer is the same for men, right?
Okay.
It might not be flowers, right? But it's that your man doesn't want to have to tell you to do certain things.
Yeah.
It would be nice for you one day to plan, a going away trip for you and him. Where he doesn't have to say anything. Maybe one day you wake up and you've cleaned the house or whatever it is, and you have breakfast ready. It's small things that matter. A lot of women like to think that it has to be something huge. You have to buy him a car or nothing like that. But no, it's the small
That will take forever.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Now it's the small acts that you do day in and day out to show that you actually respect him as a human being and you respect him as a partner. But also it depends on what kind of man that you have. You see, some men are very traditional.
Yeah.
They want their partners to cook. They want their partners to, take care of the kids.
Yeah.
Some men are a little bit more modern, like myself. Like, I don't mind cooking. I don't mind cleaning,
I have an excellent cook for a man, by the way.
But you see, I do appreciate, my partner helping out as well. You know? So I don't want to call it teamwork. I really don't like to put that kind of, word on it. But I really like it when she does things. I don't know. I think calling it teamwork kind of reduces especially if it's a marriage, it reduces the position of husband, because a husband, technically to a lot of people, is the leader.
Yes, true.
Exactly. So that's why I don't like using the word.
Depending on how it's been looked.
Exactly.
And
So
who's
it
looking
really
at it.
depends on, is your man more traditional or he's more modern? And it's listening to him, understanding him, and not waiting for him to actually tell you to do something for him. Just surprising him.
So ladies, just as you want to be shown love through gifts, words, words of affirmation, and all other things, affection and all that, men also do require the same.
That's right.
But then I think it also depends on the person's love language, perhaps. Maybe get to know.
Just about to say.
Because what I do for my man to feel loved, if another woman do the same to her man to feel loved, it probably won't. Might not quite be enough there.
In terms of love language, though, I do want to say that sometimes it's not always necessary to really be like caught up or hung up about which particular love language it is, because if you speak to a lot of men, we don't go around expressing our love according to love languages. Right, so what I'm trying to say is that as human beings, right, it's a little bit difficult to put the way in which we express our love into particular brackets. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We're way too complicated to be able to do that. So if you take the approach that, well, my husband's love language is receiving gifts, and all you do is you go out and
just keep buying gifts.
You know what I'm
but
saying?
Then you're not telling him I love you. You're not showing him affection. You're not cooking him a really nice hot meal, maybe his favorite.
Exactly. So
and things like that.
Too caught up with, what is his love language? Don't try to put it into a
shouldn't be in a
That's right.
Shouldn't be put in a bracket. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. So understanding the person, and I also feel like it's important because, you know what's funny? These days I've realized. So for a very long time I was in a very long relationship that I didn't even date for a very long time, and then of course that relationship ended, and I was hit by having to come back in the dating market. And so I was shocked by the amount of ridiculous things that are happening in the dating market. And I call it ridiculous because it doesn't allow you a chance to be yourself. There's all these rules about how, like, when you meet a guy, don't act like this, don't act a certain way, don't say this particular words, don't look at him straight in the eye, don't call him first, don't text him, let him text you. So many exhausting things. And I was like, no. Like, no, I can't. It's too confusing, it's too exhausting. And so I just decided to be myself. I mean, if I miss my man and want to call him, I'm gonna call him. If I want to text, I'm gonna text. If I want to do what, I'm gonna do, because at the end of the day, I want to be myself. I don't want to be a fake version of me and then not be able to maintain it later on when I'm actually with this person. Like when I successfully get into a relationship with him, and then maybe even a marriage, and then it's exhausting. You can't never be someone else for a long time. You know?
There's nothing wrong with actually showing your man love and appreciation.
Yeah.
There's this weird thing out there that if a woman goes out of her way to cook for her husband, or there was this thing on social media where the question was, would you wake up at 3 a.m. to cook your man a meal?
I saw that.
You know, and a lot of girls say, absolutely not.
I saw that, and I was like, hell yeah.
And I was like, yeah, of course.
I saw that, and I was like, hell yeah. No, I would, because because I would want him to do the same. For me. And not only that, but then the thing is, we are all structured differently. And then, like I said, all these rules going on about how, like, you show a man too much love. By the way, this is something I've heard and I've seen. You show a man too much love, he will not appreciate you, he will not be there, he will go for the woman that is, you know, bad as B-I-T-C-H and really doesn't care and give it, you know. And then so that is out there, and sadly, that's what is actually happening out there with women. Like they're all acting in a way that they don't really want to act, but because of this whole rules, and there's a lot of these dating coaches right now that are just saying so many ridiculous different things that it's so hard to keep up keep up to. And that's why I really wanted to have this talk with you, just to see whether or not that's actually what is happening.
Look, when it comes to relationships, I have said that I personally would advocate for us to revamp the way we do relationships, right? We need to rethink the way we do relationships completely, right? So what I think is, I think we need something like a subscription model, right? So, for example, you get into a relationship with someone, right? You say, we're gonna be in this relationship for 3 months, okay? At the end of the 3 months, we're gonna come back and
evaluate.
We're gonna come back and evaluate and see whether
I like
or not
that.
we want to continue.
I've actually thought of that once.
If we don't actually get together and talk about extending this relationship, the relationship ends.
Yeah.
And it ends there.
Or you can get together and just say, look, it's not working, respectfully, and end it.
Yeah, but a lot of people say, hey, that's just a normal relationship. What are you saying? Like, people can always, you know, get feedback from one another. But I'm saying, no, if you basically say, if we don't communicate about extending this relationship at the end of 3 months, the relationship ends. That's it.
Yeah.
It forces you
but
to actually have to
But I still feel like you do need to have that conversation whether or not you're going to end it.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so that you can,
If it's a subscription model, you're forced to confront.
So wait, just without drifting out of the topic, because I think we've drifted out a little bit, what are some points that you can just name, like 1, 2, 3, on what women can do to make their men feel respected? Okay,
so showing them love without being asked.
Okay, showing them love. Like, let it just come from your heart. You just show.
Exactly.
Regardless of what the world is saying about men, just go ahead and show him love. How you know how to show love.
That's it.
Because everybody show love differently.
That's it.
Some women, they wake up and then they want to cook a really nice meal for their men. Some women wants to go and buy a nice shirt. Some women wants to get up and wash all the clothes and just, you know, put it nicely, lay it nicely out. Some women wants to get up in the morning and pick, you know, their men clothes and make breakfast before they go to work. Some want to just support them in maybe their projects or, you know. So basically show love according to how you know how to show love to your man.
Yeah. The other thing is also understanding the importance of space in a relationship. I think that, you know, a lot of men have hobbies and things that they may be working on outside of, you know,
the relationship.
Or their 9 to 5. I think some women don't really understand the concept of space. They believe that always being around their partner is a way to show love, right? But it's important as well to understand that he has some other things that he wants to work on.
And it doesn't necessarily mean
it doesn't mean he doesn't love you.
Yeah.
And it doesn't mean he doesn't care for you.
Yeah.
Right? But it's about you understanding and not being nagging. You know, if your man is going to go out and spend a weekend with his friends, it's not necessary to be texting every 5 minutes.
Does a weekend means like just like a Saturday night, or does it mean like Friday, Saturday, and Sunday?
Regardless of what it is, but it's understanding the importance. But
I get it.
The importance of him actually
having space. Yeah, just let him have space, and don't be all on the phone.
That's it.
Yeah,
that's it.
give him that.
Nagging.
Yeah,
you need that space. You definitely do. Yeah, that's something.
Give your man space, ladies.
Yeah, you gotta give him a little bit of space.
Give him a little bit of space. Show him love. Give him space.
And also, don't be too caught up with the advice that you get from your single friends. I think single girls keep girls single, right? So
that's interesting.
I don't think you can get great information about men from another woman. I think if you really want to know and learn about your man, you probably get better information and advice from another man, right?
I think from experience, I would say just listen to yourself, like to your instinct and the energy that you feel in your relationship. Because at the end of the day, no, like your friends are your friends, and they would never really be just when it comes to when it comes to a problem between you and your man. Like right now, if I go to my friend and be like, look, he did this, she'll be like, what an asshole, you know, like straight away she's gonna have that negative perception toward him, and she's not even gonna try and understand my own part, you know, like she's gonna be one-sided. Even though she might call me and be like, okay, Sidonia, you're wrong in this, at the end of the day, she's my friend. She's still gonna lean to my side. And also another thing that I wanted to say is your friend can give you an advice, but whatever advice your friend gives you is based on her own experience.
That's right. Yeah.
Like I could say, okay, my man did this, and then that could trigger a past experience that she's had, maybe a negative one, and then she will make her judgment based on her experience, not necessarily based on what is actually happening between me and my man. So I feel like it's important for women to always step back.
Yeah.
Like when an issue happened, if you're gonna go to your friend, maybe just do it just to reload, to just get it off your chest or something, just so that you just have someone to talk to and just get it out. But when it comes to the decision making, don't make a decision based on what someone else tells you. Don't reply back to the fight based on what advice someone else is give you. Like always listen to yourself. Like there's a lot of women, and this is actually this is true. I don't disagree with you. Single or not single friends, like I'm not gonna say single friends keep people single, but I would say there has been a lot of relationship that got ruined because a person is listening to a third party, not necessarily listening to themselves, to their inner self. Because if you listen to yourself, you would know that, okay, this person is messed up, but you look back into the history of the relationship or to how the relationship is been, and then this is actually a great man or a great woman. This is a great person that you've had all this good time with, and then now you're having a small challenging time. And so when you think about it, you'll be like, okay, well, there is love in my relationship, there is respect in my relationship. What has actually gone wrong in this relationship, and how can I start to work maybe on myself and also communicate with my boyfriend or girlfriend or partner, just so that I can fix this, or we can work together and fix this, rather than just taking the advice of, no, he is not good,
but also
you know.
For some people, right, so I hear you when you say that you need to look inside, but some people might not have, you know, the insight to be able to do that. Some people might not have enough relationship experience to be able to look on the inside.
But
so
if you know what you want, you will be able to.
But even though, like, some people that are really good to speak to are people who've walked that path. I don't know, like for me, for example, my parents are married. I always find that they're the best people to go to when I'm having relationship issues, to actually ask them together, and actually get information from them. Because I get a perspective from the father.
Well, if you have that privilege, if you have that privilege,
But to go back onto the respect thing, one of the most important things, however, is this idea that you have to be rude to be considered a strong woman. You have to be argumentative. That you have to show this man that you can do everything that a man can do. It's absolutely unnecessary. That you want to show a man that you can beat up a man.
Your standards don't have to be, shouldn't make you rude. She just make you firm and...
It's not even about standards. Some girls really think that they have to be argumentative and just show that they can take on a man, they can beat up a man, they can do everything that a man can do, and they think that
when it comes to beating up, I don't know about that, because me, I can't beat...
But that's the thing, to them they feel like that's what shows a powerful woman, and there's nothing you can say to them. There's absolutely nothing you can say to them. They think that, you know, they're in the right, and that is very problematic, because what a lot of men will do is they're not going to argue back with you.
But then I feel like also some women have been hurt a lot to the point that they feel like they have to put up that defense to protect themselves.
Relationship then. Like if that's the, you have to deal with your traumas first before you get into a relationship. It's not fair for the man that you have to have to deal with the problems that someone else caused. So now you bring in your baggage from a past relationship, and now someone else has to deal with it. And then
some women don't want to soften.
You're crucifying the new person for the sins of what someone else did in the past. Like that, how is that fair? And that is why I say it's very important for men and women to actually take the time out after a relationship to actually work on the things that you really messed up in the relationship.
So to put it in a point, we'll say women need to be soft and just be feminine.
Less argumentative.
Just be
less argumentative and boisterous, and you don't have to fight your man.
Yeah. To be heard.
To be heard.
And to be known that you're a strong woman. You don't have to take him one-on-one.
Yeah, absolutely unnecessary. That is unnecessary.
Yeah. So we'll leave that one there for now. I'm just gonna go to the next.
Yeah.
So Neo, in a new relationship, how soon is too soon to have sex? And does time make a difference? Because I'm asking this question because I've heard women, you know, saying, you know, don't have sex with him too soon, you know, don't have sex. And look, guys, we're having this discussion. I know some of you are all religious and you all have the whole, you know, if you're watching this and you're a Christian and you're like, oh, no sex before marriage. I'm not advocating that people should go and have sex before marriage. That's not what we're doing here. But regardless of whether or not we have this conversation, some of you are having sex and you're Christians, okay? So if you're not listening to your pastor, I mean, who are we to say, don't go and have sex, wait till you're married? So this is just a general conversation because it is things that are already happening. And so I'm just interested to know, like in a man's insights, like an insight into a man's mind and stuff, what do you guys think about women who, if maybe you get together and you have that instant attraction and then maybe sex happened on the first date or first month or first week. Is that a deal breaker for most men or for men? Is that a deal breaker?
Right.
Does it make any difference on how soon a woman has sex with a man?
I'll answer it like this. I'll preface it by saying that when a man asks a woman out on a date, that is the socially acceptable way for him telling the girl that he wants to sleep with her. Okay?
Okay.
I'll say that again.
Does that take away the actual dating?
No. I'll say it again.
Okay.
Right? So when a man asks a woman out on a date, okay?
I hope you girls are
it's
listening.
a socially acceptable way for him saying
I want to sleep with you.
Exactly.
Okay.
It's not about when.
Okay.
Ultimately, he wants to get intimate. So
yeah, that's the ultimate goal, whether or not there's a relationship.
We don't have to necessarily call it a goal, but ultimately he wants to get intimate with her.
Okay.
Right? Ultimately, right, whether or not there's going to be a relationship or not, he wants to get intimate.
Okay, but in terms of like the progression of the relationship or the success of the journey leading into a relationship, how soon a woman sexually open up to a man, does that...
No, so my next point is that so it's important to keep that in mind, that he wants to. Right? So, knowing that a man
it makes sense though, because at the end of the day, if you're going to go out with somebody, sex is definitely going to be there, whether you get married, engaged,
so that shouldn't be a surprise. The problem is when I say that a lot of times, people say, hang on, you're trying to say, you know, he just, you know, every man is like this, he wants sex on the first date. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying ultimately, right?
Okay.
So knowing that, right, you have to understand that regardless of whether it happens at the start, or it happens 3 months later, or 6 months later, it really doesn't change anything. However, I will tell you this, if women try and make a man wait, right, without actually telling him why they want to wait and how long he's going to wait for, he's not going to stick around. He's just going to go, especially if it's someone who's sexually active. He's not going to stick around. So a lot of women, what they do is they meet a man and they say, hey, look, I want to wait first because you know, I've been hurt in the past. I don't, you know. And I was like, yeah, that's fine. And then 1 month goes past, 2 months goes past. you know, and all this time she's enjoying dates, you know, he's always picking her up, you know, he's always paying for dinner, so she's benefiting. She's enjoying herself, right?
Oh, benefiting.
Yeah. Oh, she's living the life. But him, not yet. He's waiting. And really, it's like he's investing in a way. But he's investing in something he may never get. He may never get it. He may never,
Because it could turn out that she doesn't like him.
Exactly. She could literally be like, after 20 dates, she could be like, no, thank you. Money gone, petrol gone, doesn't matter.
Time gone.
Yeah, you didn't get anything, you know what I mean? You know? Gone through all these dates, and at the end, you wonder why he just ghosted you? Because you're leading him on.
But if he wants
an idea of when that's going to happen. So the point I'm trying to make is it really doesn't matter when it happens, but don't try and lead a man on and think that he's just going to stick around. So that's why little girls get ghosted. You will get ghosted if you think that you're just going to tell him, I just want to wait. And you just open it up. You don't even tell him like when or the reasons or, you know, anything like that. You have to be able to communicate.
So you're saying have that conversation, like tell him it will happen, but when you're ready. And if it's not gonna happen, don't string him along. Don't make him waste his hundreds of dollars.
But also for a lot of modern men that are a little bit thinking, you know, a little bit smart, what they will say is, okay, we don't have to get intimate, but as a woman, you pay for all the dates. Until you are ready to get intimate.
Okay.
Because traditionally, it's the man, right? That's the investment.
Traditionally,
Exactly. But you see, for the woman, it doesn't really feel like she's losing anything. She's not making an investment. All she has to do is show up. So what a lot of men feel like, this is unfair because I get to. There's been the last 3 girls. I've been taking them out on dates, picking them up, doing everything, and then 3 months later, after spending all this money, like I don't get anything.
Can you both do that, though? I feel like you can both do that. You can both get to know each other and both invest.
Yeah, but what I'm saying
without sexually, you know, being active, but you can both invest on each other while waiting.
Absolutely not. And this is what I'm saying. Absolutely not.
What do you mean?
One thing we have to understand is that men want to have sex. Men want to have sex. They want to have sex. So when you say we can both invest, I'll put it to you like this. When you say you both want to invest, right? There is a misconception that when the guy goes out to dinner with the woman, right? That he absolutely loves this experience. He would rather, he doesn't want to be doing anything else. He wants to have dinner. That's incorrect.
Is it?
He'd rather be home. Listen, he knows, okay? He knows he'd rather be home with her. He knows that, right? He wants to get intimate with her. But it's socially acceptable to go for dinner first, take her out on drives, buy her flowers. You gotta all that investment.
You gotta woo her.
So what men are saying now is that, okay, so as a man, I had to do that whole investment before you were ready. But because you know when you're gonna be ready, how about you invest? How about you pay for all the dates and you do all of that? I know.
That doesn't sound like a man is pursuing a woman.
You see what I mean? And that's exactly what I'm saying. Because a lot of men are saying, well, it's unfair. Why should
But
I
there's
have to
nothing
invest?
wrong with pursuing. I just feel like a woman should also show a man that I am interested in you as well. But I am not ready to have sex. Just because a person or a woman is not ready to have sex, it doesn't mean that she can't have other ways of showing the man that she also cares about him.
Well, how? Give me an idea of what else she can do.
She can set up a date herself. You know, she could cook for a man.
Yeah, and pay for it.
Or just cook. But it's not all the dates, though.
No.
Like you still gotta show the woman that I want you, and she has to reciprocate.
Yeah, no, I'm saying
interest.
I'm going extreme.
But paying everything, paying all the dates. If I'm gonna pay all the dates, then that means you just really don't want to pursue me. That's how I would know that all you just want is sex.
Not really, because I'm saying after, once we actually get intimate, then from then on, I will pick up the tab. I will start paying.
So to the ultimate question.
Yeah.
If a woman have sex with a man too soon, does a man lose interest in the woman?
There is no too soon. There's no such thing as too soon or too late. That is not even a concept that should exist, right?
Okay.
I think people are trying to break this down to almost a science. There is no science to it. right?
Okay.
Having sex with him doesn't mean that, you know, he's gonna love you forever.
Yeah.
Making him wait doesn't mean your value increases. No, it does not. A lot of people think,
Okay.
oh, well, it
so you could
shows
have
that
sex
I'm
on the
willing to
first
wait.
date, and you could have sex 6 months in, or maybe 8 months in, or 1 year in, and if a guy doesn't want to be with you, he still won't be with you.
Because don't forget.
But if he really wants to be with you, he
can
can still be with you
Because here's the thing.
from the first
As
night.
a girl, you might sleep with a guy, right? And you might think it was great, but there might be some things about that particular encounter that put him off. Maybe it was a body odor issue. And now all of a sudden he's put off, he doesn't want to be with you anymore. And now you're thinking, oh my gosh, he doesn't want to be with me because I gave it away too soon. It's like, no,
true.
You're not thinking about,
There are other things.
There could be
There are
other things.
factors, yeah.
And also, it could also be that, like, when you guys are chatting online, it's fun, it's different. You're in the comfort of your own home. But then once you guys actually meet, you realize that the chemistry is not there.
It's not there.
It's just different.
But then he still goes for the sex anyway because he's been offered, he's been given.
Exactly. He's not gonna
So,
turn it down.
he's going to turn down.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? But then, yeah, a lot of girls make the mistake of thinking it's because of when she did it. Like, no, it has absolutely nothing to do with that. You have to really be self-aware.
Yeah.
And be able to have conversations with guys. And that's what I say. If you create a space where a guy is open enough to tell you, then the guy will actually tell you, you know what, I had a great time. I'm going to be very honest with you, though I didn't really enjoy the intimacy, and I'll tell you why.
I didn't enjoy it.
Yeah, I didn't enjoy it, and I'll tell you why. And he tells you,
Okay.
and it's like, but, you know, other than that, I had a great time with you, but this is not going to work out. But all the best.
Okay.
If you create that space.
If you create that
Create
space.
that space.
Okay.
So that he can be open and tell you.
In my own opinion, I feel that women should be ready to have sex before they have sex. It's not a matter of how soon or not soon. It's a matter of being ready. I feel like if a woman is going to give herself away to a man, she has to do it for herself.
Yeah.
Number one, not for the man, not because she likes the man and she wants the man to stay. And not wait and drag it long because she thinks maybe after 6 months she has sex with him, then he would think, oh, you know, wow, she's such a great woman, she's waited for this long. I feel like you just have to be ready as a person to have sex with the person.
Yeah.
And then by being ready, that creates a really good room for a good experience, for a good sexual experience. Because if you're gonna have sex just because the man wants to have sex with you and because you don't want to lose him, but then you yourself, you're not ready, then you're not really going to be in that mind space or in that energy to actually enjoy the sex and give out, you know, a whole of yourself to that person. So for me, I would say if you're not ready, if you feel like you're not ready to have sex, don't have sex. Even after 40 dates. I'm sorry, Neo, but I'll just say that.
Okay, but here's the thing. Here's the thing, though, right? I think that a girl shouldn't go out on a second date if she does not feel a sexual attraction to the man.
No, like, I'm not...
And I'll tell you what. I'll tell you why, right? Because if you might go on the first date, right? And maybe it's you're not quite sure how you feel about it, right?
Yeah.
Second date, okay? At that point, I think a girl or woman has to make up her mind about whether or not
there's a chemistry.
Yeah, she sees herself sleeping with this man. If she does see herself sleeping with this man, then go on date number 3. But if you don't see yourself sleeping with this man, and you go on date number 3, you're being manipulated. You know very well that you're not
going to have sex with him.
You're just taking advantage.
Just taking advantage, exactly.
And that's why a lot of men will turn around and say, oh, I don't want to pay for the dates.
I agree with you. I totally agree with you. I totally agree with you. But what I am saying is that if you're interested in a man and there's sexual chemistry and stuff, and yes, you're right, you know, it doesn't take many dates before you know that you want to give yourself sexually to this person and that there's a chemistry between you. But I feel like, again, if you're not ready to have sex, don't have sex, but have that conversation, like you said earlier. Have that conversation, said, look, I don't feel like I am ready to be sexually intimate at this point, but it's definitely on. I just want to be ready so that when I have sex with you, there's no regrets in my end. Because I feel like women should...
But the question is then, okay, how long is that going to take? Because if you just leave it open-ended...
Until you're comfortable, but then don't drag it too long, too.
That's how girls get ghosted. That's exactly how girls get ghosted. Because you say...
But then there are things that you do also to show the person that you're there and you're there for real. I feel like there's still ways you can show this man that, look, you're great. You're great. I do want to be with you, but
just... what a man is, though.
And I also feel like the man.
His mind, that thing, he's still thinking about it. You can do everything. You can
Yes, but you know what I think as well? You know what I
think?
think as well? I think how a man react to a woman asking for, time eventually matters in when she might decide to have sex. Because if I'm in a relationship with someone, or I get into a new entanglement or whatever with someone, and I said to them, I'm not ready tonight. I need a bit of time, but definitely we will have sex when I feel ready. And that man's take it in good faith, and then he's supportive and said, well, I'm going to be here anyway. And then he still shows me the same level of interest that he's shown from day one. I feel like I would be more drawn to having sex with him quicker than if he shows me frustration. You know?
Don't forget though, right? There could have been conversations already, right? Before it gets to the point where you're getting intimate or you're about to get intimate, there would have been conversations. You probably would have flirted over the phone, might have even sent each other
Flirting doesn't mean I'm ready to climb on it.
Might have even sent each other photos, maybe even nude photos, right? So the issue becomes that you've been flirting back and forth and talking about how it's just going to be so great when you finally get intimate, and then finally he decides to start something, like, oh, I'm not ready yet. Look, that's fine. That's okay. You don't have, you're not forced to do that, right? But in his mind as well, it's going to be a little confused because you seem very, very interested and very, very ready, but you're not ready right now. It's okay, right? You'll take it in good faith.
Yeah.
The question is then, when? And the question is now, so how should he take those conversations that you're having? Are those conversations also going to continue? Or
I would say just be patient for a little bit. Like from a woman's point of view, I would say be patient a little bit, be supportive a little bit. But then also, you have a decision to make if you think it's going on too long.
Yeah.
And if you feel like the whole thing is just being dragged and you feel like this woman isn't really feeling me, she's in this for us.
Exactly. And
the benefits of boyfriend benefits without actually giving the benefits.
Exactly. And what I'm trying to do is actually get you to think from the perspective of a man. That and a lot of men would have been in that situation where it's just they just like, oh, I'm not ready right now. It's like, well, when? And it's like, oh, you can't ask me that.
So
when I'm ready. Like, that's not an answer. When you're ready. That's just open-ended. So then you're gonna get boyfriend benefits. All of it. That's how
without giving without giving him the benefit.
And then next time when he tells you like, oh, I met this other girl, she's lovely, Stacy. And you're like, Stacy? And Stacy gave it up after the second date. You know what I mean? So it's like, why would he stay with you? Why would he stay with you at that point?
So basically, ladies,
and I'm not saying
how long doesn't really matter.
I'm not saying that girls should feel forced to do it. I'm just saying.
Can I throw this out?
What?
I think you agree with this. And ladies, don't make it awkward when you have sex with the guy for the first time.
Right.
Like, don't make it awkward. Like, don't have sex with the guy and then like the next day act weird.
Yeah. Well, do girls do that?
Girls do that. Girls do that a lot. Like we go into this whole either too in love, suddenly wants to have everything happening mood, or just act very withdrawn.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I've had sex with him now. What is he thinking about me? Yeah. Let me just back up. Let me go into my closet and just wait whether or not he's actually was interested in me and whether he will come.
Yeah.
I would say, and that's why I said, and that's why earlier I said be ready, because. Yeah, and that's why I said before, be ready when you have sex with a person. Because then when you have sex, you actually know that you're having sex because you yourself wanted to have sex. Not because he wants to have sex and you're not ready. Because if you do it to just give yourself to make him stay, then after that encounter, you're going to be paranoid. You're going to be like, oh my God, I've given it to him now. Is he going to stay? Is he not going to stay? Like, all that anxiety. But when you do it knowing that I want to have sex, like I have needs too, and I feel like I'm ready and I'm going to give it and I'm going to take it with all pleasure. And then after that, it's like, well, we're still going to be cool. If it works out, it works out. If it doesn't work out, no regrets, because I was ready. I wanted this as much as he wanted it. That's why I was saying be ready, because then when you're ready, you don't make it awkward afterwards. Like there's no expectation. Some women we go have sex with men and then we feel like, okay, now they owe us everything. And I feel like and I also feel like if you're one who is expecting a relationship after sex, maybe make that clear before you have sex.
That's right.
Like have that conversation and say, have that conversation and say, hey, listen, I don't want to do this if there's not going to be any if we're not going to be in a relationship. I really...
Also, you do realize that that's a little bit manipulative.
You could be lied to, but then...
Yeah, no, but also you're saying that the only way I will have this with you is if you promise me a relationship.
If we're going to be in a commitment, But I feel like it's
off at a bad start. You say
no, but I feel like it's fair though.
I only give this to you if afterwards we can get into a relationship.
Not only, but like if we are in a committed something, like we're getting to know.
I think rather just communicate that you only have sex with boyfriends.
With boyfriends, yes, that's what I mean. Yeah, like with boyfriend, not one night stand.
Yeah.
That's a better way of putting it. So basically, that's what I mean. Like if that's what you want, make it clear before you give yourself out, so that you don't give yourself out and then later on be disappointed because this is not what this person wanted. And that brings us to my our last discussion, our last question. Is it safe for a woman to assume that she's in a relationship with a man she has been seeing for a year or more without actually having that we're in a relationship conversation? Like can a man ask a woman out, they go on a date, they come back, have sex whether the same night, second night, a week, a month later, continue to see each other, going for dates, more sex, more dates, more sex, hanging out. Is it safe for a woman to just automatically assume this is my man?
Yes. It's 100% safe for her to assume that. Because you've been doing everything that people in a relationship do, right?
But is it right though?
It's right.
The reason I am asking that question,
I'll tell you why I say it's right. It's 100% right.
Okay, let me clarify my point first. The reason I'm asking this is because there was a post that a woman made, and she said, I've been seeing this guy for a year, and just last night he told me that your boyfriend is going to be so lucky to have you, or something along that line. So basically, in a way, it's like he minused himself, and he's saying, "Your boyfriend, the man you're gonna be with," and then she's like, "Wait, hold on. I thought you were my boyfriend."
Yeah.
You know. So she assumed because of how they were doing things and going about having dates and hanging out and things like that. But apparently, it turned out that the man just saw her as a friend who he just hangs out with and sleep with.
Yeah. First of all, I think that a lot of guys need to start being really honest and transparent, you know, and tell girls that this is what the situation is. But from the girl's perspective, that is actually a logical assumption to make. I mean, you're doing everything that people in a relationship do. However, doesn't mean it's exclusive. That's the difference. You didn't talk about anything about exclusivity.
Okay.
You can be in a relationship with more than one person. You can. You can open it up. So what I'm saying is, yeah, you definitely can think there's some sort of relationship happening, but there was no discussion.
There's a relationship, but it's not exclusive.
There you go.
It doesn't mean this person is going to keep you.
Exactly. It doesn't mean that they're only seeing you as well. There was never a discussion. There was never a discussion.
Okay.
There was never a discussion.
So he could be dating you and still dating someone else.
1,000%.
And then you don't know.
Of course, but that doesn't necessarily make it a bad.
But for us women, I feel like we just automatically just assume. You know.
You can, but you also have to come have the conversation.
You have to have that conversation. You have to know, are we in a relationship?
Are you seeing anyone? Don't assume that it's exclusive just because you decided to be exclusive.
Yeah.
You gotta open it up and have the conversation with them.
Are we in a relationship? Is this real? Or are we seeing each other?
And if you provide a space where he can be honest with you, then he'll be honest with you and say, yes, we are, or no, we're not. But if you provide a space that is hostile, okay? And you make it so that if he tells you the truth, things are just gonna go down.
You're gonna flip.
Oh, you're gonna lie.
Burn the house down.
Oh, no, he's gonna lie. He's gonna lie. You're like, yeah, it's just you. But now he knows he has to work even harder to hide these lies. He has to work twice as hard now.
And then the moment those lies get busted, that's
it. About that.
Everything is ended.
When someone does the wrong thing, they don't think about, oh, one day when I get... No. When someone does the wrong thing, they think about, I'm getting away with it right now. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm getting away with it right now. So what happens in the future doesn't even matter. That's not what someone is thinking about. You know
so women, don't just assume. Have the conversation.
You definitely.
Just because you're in a relationship doesn't mean you're exclusive. Doesn't mean that you're actual boyfriend, girlfriend.
But you see, I think a lot of girls and women, they make this assumption that because sex has happened, that sex with them is the greatest thing that has ever happened to the man that they're with, right? Everybody thinks they got a golden pum pum. I've heard.
That goes
That's exactly how they say it.
That also goes to men.
Really? I don't think so.
No, yes, that also goes to men. There are some men who will just be like, yes, I know I'm the greatest and all this, and it's like.
Okay, look, no, it's a little bit different. Like, yes, a lot of guys think they're sex gods. That's different. That's different. That's a little bit different to when girls saying they believe that their parts are golden. That this is the best of the best. That Noah.
That's why
this man's life is gonna be changed.
That's why he's with me. Because I give it.
An absolute lie, and I don't know who's telling these lies to our beautiful women. Because
so do men actually choose the best sexual partners to settle with, or can they settle with someone even if the sex isn't golden?
Yeah, I think when it comes to actually settling with a partner, like long term, I think men are happy to make certain concessions. We're happy to make certain concessions.
But it still has to be good.
So a man might be like, I'm willing to be with someone who is a 4 out of 10 in terms of
sex,
beauty according to society standards, right? But she'll make a great mother. She's a great partner. She listens to me. She buys me things. She's considerate.
It's more to it.
But it's just this one thing that, according to society standards, she's not the most beautiful person. But, all these other things, like, they matter. You know what I mean?
No, but I'm saying sexually. Yeah, okay, because you said, we shouldn't, you said women shouldn't just assume that just because, you've had sex with a man, this suddenly becomes the ultimate experience for him. That's what you're saying. And my question is that, is it safe to assume that a man settles to marry the woman that he's had the best sexual experience with, or not?
No,
not necessarily.
Because what I'm saying is...
So we can still be a little bit...
It depends on the other thing. That's why I'm saying that a man is willing to make concessions. So you could actually end up with someone who was probably the worst at sex, but all these other things, she's great.
She's great.
She's a great mother. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, it's like, what's the point of being with someone who's great at sex, right? The absolute mind-blowing, right? But terrible mother, incredibly rude.
Yeah.
Talks badly to your parents, your mom. You know what I mean? Just a nasty person. The sex is great.
And guys, I would say don't be ashamed to help each other in the bedroom, to teach each other. Because I feel like when people are in a committed relationship, sex is important. People, like I've heard, debates that goes back and forth about, oh, sex is not the most important thing in a relationship. Sex is not the most important thing in the relationship. But I feel like sex is just as important as anything else.
Oh, sure.
And just because you're not good at sex from the get-go, it doesn't mean you can't improve. I feel like people can improve, but you just have to be honest with each other about your needs. About your sexual needs, and just be like, look, babe, this is what I enjoy. Like, teach your partner how to please you. Let them learn your body. Let them learn you inside out. Let them know what turns you on and how to get you off and things like that. I feel like people shouldn't be ashamed. People should just be open, especially if you know that this is a person that you want to last with. This is a person you want to marry, or even a person that you've married, rather than being sexually frustrated and even going out to cheat and things like that, or opening room for temptation and outsiders to come in to your relationship. It's important to have that conversation. It's important to help each other. And the reason I am saying this is because there used to be a woman that I know, and this woman is now, she's been divorced a long time ago. And this particular lady was married, but when it comes to sex, and how I found this out was through girls' conversations. We were having conversations, and this popped up. It turned out that she was married, but she was still trying to play hard to get in the bedroom. Like, she was married, but whenever the husband comes to her and says certain words, you know how there's ways men can talk, come here, I want to, in the rude type of manner, but it's not necessarily, it's not rude, but you know what I mean? Like, hey, come here, I want to, And then she was like, I wouldn't go. I wouldn't give it. And then I said, well, why not? And she goes, well, because I'm not his SLUT.
I get you.
And I'm like, but you're his wife. He's married you. Like, technically, I don't want to say you're his property, but
No,
you kind of somehow are.
I'll tell you what it is, right? And that happens as well for men, right? And for men, it's actually a psychological diagnosis, right? It's called the Madonna whole complex, right? And what it basically is, it's when a man doesn't see his woman as a sexual being. So he can have sex with her, but he sees it as him having sex with her rather than them having sex together, right? So he doesn't recognize her as a sexual being. So what that means is that, for example, if she were to try and say talk dirty, it turns him off because he doesn't see her like that. He wants to see her as like this. He
sees her as a.
She's gonna be the mother of his kids. So she's like this clean image, you know. Anytime, and unfortunately, like for example, myself, I've gone through that, right? So past relationship, right? I was in a very long relationship, right? 12 years.
So
right?
you're like that?
Yes, and that was the problem. I had to change because here's the thing: the person tried. They were really trying. I felt like they're really trying to, you know, spice up the relationship, and they said certain words to me, and I was just like. Don't say that again. I was like, don't ever say that again. That sounded terrible, which was bad of me. I had to learn from my mistake because at that time, they were just trying, and it didn't come across nicely, but I really should have encouraged them. You know what I mean? Because all they were trying to do is, you know, they're a sexual being as well.
Yeah, they want to enjoy.
They want to initiate sex as well, but I would shut that down. I would always feel like it's my job
to initiate.
As a man to always initiate. The moment she initiates, I'm like, don't do that. Like I stopped. So I didn't respect my partner as a sexual being. That leads to actually me being more attracted to. So I'd be way more attracted to, like, let's say like a stripper or you know, someone randomly on Instagram twerking. Right? I mean.
But not to your own woman being like that towards you.
If she did the same thing, I'd be like, don't do that. You know what I'm saying? And that is it's actually a psychological diagnosis. It's something very real.
Yes.
And it actually can cause dead bedrooms where. Men are just, they just don't know how to recognize their partner as a sexual being.
And I feel like really also there's, like, culture also contributes to that.
Oh, yeah.
Because growing up, women are not allowed to talk about sex. We're not allowed to talk about sex. Yeah. We're not allowed we're not permitted to enjoy sex. Like, women growing up, one thing I know about, like, marriage is that women are always with children, and their husband calls them when they're ready to have sex with them. Yeah. And again, that's the same thing. You know, like, wait until you're called. Like, don't come into my room because, you know, growing up, I saw men had different huts or, you know, rooms, and women were with children. And in the night where a man wants his woman, the woman comes to the man, and then when he's finished with her, she then returns cleaned up and go to the children.
Wow. Okay.
So I feel like culture also, you know, play a big role in this, and I feel like some of the women, especially from the African background, some of us still have that mentality that I just have to wait on my man, and then he also have to call on me respectfully without, you know, treating me in ways that are deemed sexually disrespectful. You know, like this woman saying, how can he call me like this? Like, you know, like he's calling me like this, and he's telling me all these words, these nasty words. I am not his, you know, I don't want to say the word. But I'm like, but you're married. And then this man is frustrated because he feels like he can't do what he's supposed to do with his wife, And so their marriage ended up not working out. And I felt like that was probably the main reason why it broke apart, because of that.
Yeah. I will say this, when it comes to sex, I think it's very important that women understand that men love sex. Men really love sex, right? And so don't try and change the nature of a man. Many women try to change the nature of a man and say things like, well, you should like me more for what's inside. Why do you want to get intimate, right? And they don't really understand how men are. We enjoy it. We enjoy getting intimate with our partners. And so when a relationship gets to the point where your man is not sexually attracted to you because maybe as a result of whatever, maybe you've gained a bit of weight, right? It's important that you really hear this man out with what he's saying. Like when he actually says this, that, you know, I just don't feel the spot, or whatever it is, you know, however he puts it, right? Yeah. You actually try and work with him to get back to whatever it is that you need to get back to in order to put
for
the
him
spark
to find
back,
you attractive.
Right? Because if you try and convince a man that sex is not important, or try convince him, no, love me for me, or try convince him, let's do something else instead, at some point, that sexual energy of his is gonna need an outlet. And if that outlet is not within the house, you
it's
can
gonna
use
be
your
someone,
imagination
yeah,
where it's going to be. So it's very important that you understand men love sex. Don't try to change the nature of a man.
Women love sex too.
Exactly.
Let's not forget that. So it goes both ways. It goes both ways, guys.
Yeah, no, definitely, I can agree with that.
Oh my goodness. Well, Neo, this has been interesting.
Yeah,
it's been really, really interesting. Yeah. And guys, I hope you've loved the chat and you know, contribute in the comment section. We just, as we discussed some of the points, I mean, you're also free to leave down in the comment section your own opinion about some of the things that we've discussed. Neo, do you have anything you
No, not necessarily.
It would
be interesting to hear what people have to say in the comments.
Yeah.
And especially I think when it comes to intimacy, it would be really interesting to hear what women think men can do better. You know, in the bedroom, because as you said,
yes,
every man thinks they're a sex god.
Yeah.
So there's no room for improvement. There's no room for improvement. So it will be interesting if women can actually say, like,
there's definitely room. There's definitely room. So, ladies, intimacy and sex, what are some things that you wish men could improve on without thinking that they are sex gods and that they know everything about sex and that, you know, they're the champion,
That's
like,
it.
you know, so feel free and just leave your opinions and your points in the comment section. It's been really good having Neo here. It's been good having a guest on Tea Time. I've enjoyed this chat so very much. It's even gone way more than you know, we planned for it to go, but I'm very grateful that you were able to make it here. Guys, let us know if you would want to see this modern day Melbourne man. Modern Melbourne man. Take away the day, okay? We will also have a link to Neo's YouTube channel in this video, so please do visit his channel and subscribe. Similarly, also, if it is your first time watching Tea Time, subscribe. Follow us on Instagram and on Facebook on Tea Time with Pizza. I am really, really happy doing this video today. Ooh, this topic was was something that was needed for the ladies. So women, I hope that we will learn something together from this, because this show is about us learning new things every day that will help to improve our to help improve us just in our daily lives and in some of the things that, you know, that we go through as human beings. And relationships are something that are really very important to me, Neo, because I do want each person to just have that good and healthy relationship where they can just have that one person that they can love wholeheartedly without fear, and be able to show them that, you know, you mean the world to me, whatever that means to you. And just for everyone to experience that love of a man and a woman being together, like not just their family, like, you know, children involved and everything else, but specifically just a man and a woman being in love, taking care of each other, supporting each other, uplifting each other up, and just making each other's dreams come true, just as well as their own combined dream as a couple coming true. So it's something that I'm very passionate about. That's why you see most of my chats and Tea Time talks are based on relationships, especially the one I do on Facebook. So guys, thank you so much. Please do subscribe to this channel. We're going to end here. I'm gonna let Neo say the final words and end us.
All good, all good. Now, look, thank you very much for having me, you know, and thanks for everyone for tuning in. We do appreciate it, especially for the African Australian people in the diaspora. We really encourage you guys to continue being part of the conversation, you know, so that we can continue actually speaking about these things. We know that in our cultures, we're not really allowed to speak about these things, but we want to improve our relationships so that we can start becoming positive members of society and become a formidable group in Australia. So this is a very good start. So please continue supporting us, continue having these conversations.
All right, till next time.
All good. See ya. All right, thank you so much.